Camping World Truck Series practice from Talladega. It's the final round, or the final race in round one. It's chase race number 3. There's going to be a cutoff, and a couple of drivers are not going to make it to round 2 after this race tomorrow.
It's a lot of words you said there. It sounds simple, but there's teams down there that have been thinking about that ever since we left Las Vegas, about what they have to do here at Talladega in order to try to be a part of the next round of the playoffs. Because if you advance, you can be our champion. That's how competitive things here are.
Yeah, we've been off a couple of weeks, so not only was there the anxiety of thinking, oh boy, we got to get the next race is the last one in round 1. Are we going to advance? But it's Talladega. You've got to wait for. Makes it. Raises that level of anxiety even more.
I'm just glad this truck got through inspection. I was talking to Junior Joyner right before we went on the air, and he said, well, we've already been through 3 times, and we have to go back again. But obviously they got it done, and here he is on the racetrack.
Matt Crafton. Talk about a guy who's...
He had a
Shasta.
I haven't had one lately.
I mean, is it fair to say that Crafton's in a little bit of a slump? What's he gone? 12 races without a win? Or, he's just held to a higher standard
now because of the last couple 3 years that he's running. But yeah, absolutely, they're in a bit of a slump. But having said that, he had that bad finish at Chicago with trouble. But his other 4 finishes in the last 5 races, all top 10s. But we've become accustomed a little bit more out of that 88 truck.
But I'm concerned about, we saw at Vegas, I thought he would be one of the favorites to go out there and win that race. We talked about before that event, we thought maybe it'd be an upset. One of the outside guys would come in and get it done. That's exactly what happened when Tyler Reddick went to Victory Lane. But I thought Crafton would be right there pressuring for the win, and he just didn't perform well. So if I'm not as concerned about not having won since May, here he is going to victory at Dover, and he went back-to-back in Charlotte. I'm not as concerned about that as I am about what happened lately. What have I done lately? And I haven't had the speed it takes to win races, and especially at Vegas, he was way off.
It almost seems like, and we well documented the fact that they had a major fire there at the Thor's 14, that it almost like they haven't really recovered from that yet. But we know what that team is capable of doing. Junior Joyner, Matt Crafton, for Duke and Rhonda Thorson. So they may very well put it together right here. Again, they're not comfortably in, just like everybody else isn't comfortably in. But the thing I like about that is they have 3 teammates here, and that could have a bearing on how this race goes, because it sure helps it when you're here at this racetrack to have somebody helping you.
And don't be surprised if they don't retreat. When they throw the green and say go, those 3-4 trucks get together and get in a pack and ride in a way to make sure they're safe until the end of the race. You've got to look at the numbers. You've got to figure out, if we just get in a pack and run by ourselves and we're running 20th through 23rd, is that good enough no matter what happens? Crafton and Junior Joyner and that team, they've considered every mathematical equation it takes to get them into the next round.
Well, and if he gets to the next round, I believe Crafton's feeling pretty good about things, because Martinsville and Texas are the next 2 races in the next round. He's won twice at both of those tracks. Let's check in with Caitlin on the 33 of Ben Kennedy.
Well, Vince, Ben Kennedy picked up some spots in the chase standings after a top 5 effort at Las Vegas the last time out. I just spoke with his crew chief, Joey Cohen. He said, right now we're going to do single truck runs. He said we couldn't get anyone else to commit to wanting to do a draft with us. But he said the biggest thing we need to focus on is building comfort and maneuverability. He said there's a huge disturbance of air with these trucks. And he said, Ben, really stressing, he wants to make sure he has rear stability. He's taking the track now.
Yeah, this isn't a place that's been too kind to Ben Kennedy. 28th and 25th in his 2 finishes here, and caught up in the big one last year in the late stages of the race, and hopes that he can come out with a much better finish here at Talladega this year. His chase chances may depend on it.
You see the speeds. There's right now Spencer Gallagher, top speed at 178. When these trucks get in a draft, it's amazing the speed. We'll see speeds well over 190 miles an hour when these guys get in the draft, and these speeds are going to just be knocked right off the board because these trucks draft so well. They punch such a big hole in the air. You get some trucks hooked up together, and it's amazing how the speed escalates.
We've talked about how the super speedways can be such an equalizer as well. So you might see someone that isn't one of the favorites per se win on Saturday. You look at Gallagher, Custer, Infinger, the top three on the board right there. All three of those drivers, they're not in the chase, but could certainly go to victory lane on Saturday.
Without a doubt, we saw that at Las Vegas. Tyler Reddick goes to victory lane with his teammate right on his tailgate here. But I love the fact that Brad Keselowski told his drivers, we're here to win. We each have sponsors on these trucks. It would not be fair to Tyler Reddick's sponsor for him to back off and let Daniel Hemrick win. Would have locked him into the next round of the chase, and I love that attitude. But now I think it's going to be a little bit different here because I think Tyler Reddick has made it his mission to help that 19 of Daniel Hemrick get into the next round.
There's a good speed. We saw Ben Kennedy go around 54 flat. The fastest we've seen so far is 53.87. That's just over 178 miles an hour. So I think we're beginning to see what the favorites are, what the time it's going to take to be able to grab the pole, the speed, and the time.
There's our championship leader, William Byron. Of course, the only one safe, courtesy that win at New Hampshire. Let's find out what's happening downstairs with that 17, the back-to-back winner here at Talladega, Hermie.
Vincent's mock qualifying runs to begin this practice session for the 17 of Timothy Peters. They went out and made a run, maybe not a full-blown mock qualifying run as far as air pressures and tape and those kind of things, but just kind of a baseline run. Then they'd come back in, reset the air, a little more tape, cool the engine down, check their ride heights, do all those things. This next time out will be a full-blown mock run for the 19. Then they plan to hopefully get in a pack of trucks and see how this truck will drive. A good history with this truck, as we mentioned, at this racetrack.
You want to get in the draft. You want to work with some other trucks to get a feel for how your machine handles in those situations, but it can be a tenuous situation as well, can it?
Oh, yeah, but you want to do that one time. You want to make sure, okay, it sucks up good, it drives good. That'll be enough for us.
First practice for the trucks here at Talladega.